on her. Hello, everyone, and we welcome you to the SA Sci Right Field at the Jenkins Boys Club for Senior Day here at this great venue as the Calvary Lady Cavaliers are taking on the Lady Vikings of Treutlen. Jessica Hartzog is on the hill for Calvary, and the first pitch has just been delivered. It is a first pitch strike. So glad to have you with us here as the 14-7 Calvary Lady Cavaliers are taking on the 11-11 Truetlen Vikings in this Region 3A matchup, a crossover matchup. This pitch is bunted and it will land foul, and the count will go 0-2 on the first batter for Treutlen. We'll have her name for you here shortly. So glad to be here with us with our Calvary Sports Network crew. I'm Brian Evans along with Garrett Rogers, Casey Nelson producing and directing, and Alicia Evans here today collecting stats for us. We'll have the starting lineups here for you here in a moment. 0-2 the count to the first batter for the Lady Vikings, Tania Moy. She takes this pitch for a ball outside, and the count goes 1-2 to the batter. We said Jessica Hartzog was just honored here moments before the game with Senior Day celebrations as the pitch misses outside and the count goes 2-2. Hartzog is 12-6, actually 13-6 now on the year with a 2.86 ERA, so very strong numbers for her, getting another region start. Tania Moy waits for the 2-2 pitch. That one just sails outside and the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The impressive numbers for Jessica Hartzog is the fact that she has only walked 11 batters all year long in 93 innings of work. So very impressive numbers. This pitch put on play right back to Hartzog. Flips on to first in time to retire the first batter. You're scoring that one at home, which I don't know if you are or not, but we'll go 1-3 on the putout. Taking a look at the Calvary defense. I'll have to give you that here a little bit later between innings. Kaylee Morris swinging, hits the pitch. That's to Ansley Brown over third base. Good toss over to first for out number 2. 2 quick outs here as that was Kaylee Morris that was retired. And now standing in will be the third batter, Madison Hutcherson. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the top half of the first inning. This pitch misses outside for ball 1. Calvary's athletic director, Chad Griffin, was here to perform the Senior Day ceremonies. Went out very well. Going to come on air here with us. No swing says the umpire. 2-0 runs the count on Hutcherson. Very nicely done on the senior ceremonies, Chad.
Thank you. I'm well read. I've done a timer 15 now.
The pitch catches the corner. Count goes 2-1.
The participates is what gets me after about the 5th time. Also participates in.
Here's the wind, the pitch. It's going to be hit softly back to Hartzog on to first in time to retire the side. 1-2-3. Will go the Truetlen Lady Vikings. We head to the bottom half of the first. No score between this Truetlen team and Calvary. Thank you so much for being with us here on the Calvary Sports Network. We'll be right back in just a moment.
the wife.
We head to the bottom half of the first inning. Due up for Calvary, Hannah Arrington, Miranda Ganning, and Jessica Hartzog. The first three batters due against the Treutlen team. The wind, the pitch. First pitch, strike. And the count goes 0-1.
Kind of the scouting report, Brian, on the pitcher. She's pretty consistent. A lot of all-speed stuff, but stays around the plate. And sometimes that can be better for a team because they know it's going to be in a certain location than kind of all over the place.
This pitch will land foul, and the count goes 0-2 on Arrington. She'll be followed by Miranda Gammon and Jessica Hartzog.
I like being in the outfield.
It looks good. Looks good. Hopefully, it's looking good on the camera as well. Pitch misses low. 1-2 runs the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the first. Calvary Sports Network contributor Corey Martin here as well.
Always good to see Coach Martin walking up.
This pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. The count remains 1-2 on the batter. Hannah Arrington. Hannah on the year is batting .425. This is her 48th plate appearance. Leads the team, or second on the team with 17 hits, but she pops this pitch up to the second baseman, put away for out number one.
And that's what happens when you have a pitcher that throws a lot of off-speed stuff. You tend to get out in front of it a little bit and get pop-ups, and that's what we've seen from the first batter today.
Here's Miranda Gammon stepping in, .260 batting average on the year. These are at least through the Richmond or the ECI game.
Yep.
First pitch misses low and outside, ball one. Our first game of the year saw the Battle of Cousins as Miranda's cousin played for the Lady Warriors of Jenkins. We had a couple weeks ago. Outside goes the pitch, 2-0 the count on Miranda.
I've had a lot of people just come up and talk about, they've got on the Calvary Sports Network and to look at football, and they've gone around and they've watched other games. They've watched the volleyball. They've watched softball versus Jenkins. So, we got good beginnings here. Pitch down the middle, taken strike by Miranda.
2-1. The wind, the delivery. Swung on and hit on a line to the shortstop. Kind of had a looping liner there. Easy play for the shortstop.
Yeah, once again, kind of out in front of the pitch on the front foot a little bit. I'm sure Coach Davis is taking studious notes in the dugout. He's kind of the head of our hitting, and we'll take the kids that come back in probably to get them to sit back on a little bit longer.
So here's Jessica Hartzog batting with nobody on and 2 outs. Jessica, .365 batting average, leading the team with 19 hits on the year.
I tell you, she's really got hot in the last 2 weeks. You've seen her average really go up probably about 78 points.
Pitch outside again, 2-0 the count. Jessica wears number 9 on her jersey. As she's done all year long on the mound. Not really a mound in softball, I don't
It's called
guess.
the circle.
The circle.
Circle.
Fouls this one off her foot. 2-1 the count. She's going to have to limp that one off a little bit.
Yeah, got to get a little time in between that pitch. Yeah, from the circle you get all the knowledge you gain from watching about 15 games of the College World Series.
That's right. Did you guys get to go this year?
No, we opted to go on a cruise. As I said, Sherry, 10th anniversary, go on a 7-day cruise or go to Oklahoma and sit in 100-degree heat. Cruise we chose. So,
pitch fouled again. That's right down the line. Nice kick save there from third base coach and manager for the Lady Cavs, Sherry Griffin.
She gets that a little bit honestly there.
That's right. This pitch hit very hard, very deep. It's going to be over the head of the left fielder for extra bases. Hartzog rounds first and will pull in with a 2-out double. Good hit there for Jessica. Calvary's got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, you see the difference of sitting back on the pitch, waiting for it. It was kind of almost a looping pitch, as it was. I guess it'd be a rise ball from that standpoint, and just didn't have enough pace on it. Jessica did a great job sitting back on it, and burnt the outfielder a little bit there. I thought she probably didn't think it was going to get there that fast, because it looked a little bit higher than what it was. With the sun coming from the outfield into the infield here, the shadows will continue to progress or creep upon.
So 2 outs and runner at second base, and here is Ansley Brown, third baseman for the Lady Cavs. Batting cleanup today. First pitch catches just off the inside corner, so 1-0 goes the count. Good eye there. Has a chance to drive in a run and put Calvary ahead early. Ansley Brown, only a sophomore, starting third baseman. She takes that pitch for a called strike. 1-1 runs the count.
Yeah, a lot of promise from Ansley. She is, as I've heard Coach Farmer and Coach Davis knows refer. She's kind of a dirtbag type player. I mean, she gets down and dirty. She comes out of the game. She is tagged, by dirt. But a little looping line drive there to the first baseman, and the rally is ended by the Cavs.
Yep. Runner will be stranded at first, but Calvary does get one hit. No runs, and we'll leave one, as we said, left on base. We head to the second inning. No score between the Truetlen Lady Vikings and the Calvary Lady Cavaliers. You're on the Calvary Sports Network. To the top of the second we go. No score between Truetlen and the Lady Cavs. The first pitch is, I believe, bounced up there, and the count will go 1-0 on the second baseman, Morgan Hosier, for the Vikings.
We'll put out there about Lady Cavs softball versus Truetlen. We're on air live, so put that on Twitter. Maybe we'll pick up some more followers as we go along today.
1-1 the count. By the way, you can like Calvary Sports Network on Facebook. Not much there. That work is a work in progress, but we're excited about that. We'll be posting interviews. As this pitch hit right through the legs of Ansley Brown, but it did land foul. The count will go 1-2. One thing about calling from the outfield, we can't see the angle of the foul line, so we'll have to really count on the umpires to be on top of their game. Hopefully they'll be a little bit better than the replacement officials in the NFL, which is all you've been able to read about the last couple of days.
I tell you, especially first thing this morning. Wow. Swinging bunt.
It's going to be an infield single.
Didn't get all of it, but got enough of it to just in between, just enough past the catcher, but not hard enough to get to the third baseman. So got an infield single here by Truetlen.
Runner at first, nobody out. And Bailey McDaniel will stand in, the pitcher, batting in the five hole, as you will. Hartzog into the line, delivers. This one hits softly over towards the shortstop, and between the shortstop and third baseman, Ansley Brown backs up calmly and puts that one away for out number 1.
That's probably tough for a third base shortstop on a fly ball, the angle of the sun coming in.
Mm-hmm. Coming right behind us as we are in right field.
Yep.
Here is Haley Richardson, the starting shortstop for the Lady Vikings. Second time in a week that the Truetlen Athletic Department has had to bring a bus down here to the day school area.
Yeah, it is. It's been a
bunt foul back to the screen. 0-1 goes the count. That was a little bit of a play as the runner was on the move.
Yeah, a little bunt and run action.
Good job there by watching Taylor Thomas, the senior second baseman. She was on the move immediately to cover first base. Or, excuse me, cover second base. Or from her second base position. Miranda Gammon is at short. This pitch fouled back. Count goes 0-2 on Haley Richardson.
And this is the area that, Coach Griffin's talked about with Jess, that she's done a great job getting ahead of the hitters, and at times she'll leave a pitch out over the plate and they get in a little bit of trouble. But she's done a great job all year, staying ahead of the count. See if she can finish it off here.
We'll watch the runner. She is showing movement. The count goes 1-2 as that pitch misses outside.
Softball, you can't not post to leave or advance from the base until the ball crosses the plate. But a lot of them you'll see try to get a little bit early jump. Call is always at the discretion of the umpire.
Strike 3 called. That will.
Yeah, foul tip caught there by Morgan. Great job, a senior catcher.
So 2 outs and runner at first base. And in will step Becca Goodwin, right fielder for the Lady Vikings here. 2 outs, runner at first, as we said. First pitch will sail outside.
Runner looked like she got off a little bit early there, hopping off the bag.
I'm sure the Calvary coaches will be letting the umpire know about that.
Yeah.
Hartzog winds. Swung on a miss, strike 1. Evens up the count, 1-1. Got Bailey Horton in left field for Calvary. Giving you all of the other fielders.
Got Arrington and
Hannah Arrington is in center. Maggie Rogers in right. This pitch hit foul down the third base side. 1-2 runs the count. That was close there to being extra bases.
Yep, that's just foul. And, the outfield especially, I know it sounds funny, but from basically second base over, the outfield is slower because, the girls practice on this side all the time. So I'm out here having to cut grass, and I have to cut it about 1.5 inches here and 2.5 inches on that side. It's just the way it slopes. And third strike there.
Yep, strike 3, swung on and missed, and that will retire the side. Runner stranded at first. We head to the bottom of the second inning. No score. Treutlen and the Lady Cavs of Calvary. You're on the Calvary Sports Network, ladies and gentlemen. We head to the second inning. Calvary's leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the second will be Sammy Wilson, starting first baseman for the Lady Cavs tonight. First pitch was ball. Second pitch will bounce up there as well. Count goes 2-0 on Sammy. She's had a pretty good year at the dish, batting .429, driven in 6.
Yeah, I mean, hitting's not been the problem for Lady Cavs this year. It's been, Coach Griffin and Coach Davis is just, and the rest of it just harped on, the defensive mistakes they've made is really what's cost them, some opportunities to increase their win column.
2-1 runs the count. Wilson waits. Into the wind, and the pitch fouled down the third base side. 2-2 runs the count.
Still seems like we're a bit ahead of the ball. A lot of these pitches not just sitting back. So
right.
We'll see how that progresses.
Good question from the crowd earlier today. We can talk about on the broadcast where the our pitcher and third baseman and their third baseman wear the mask, and second baseman as well. Looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think people realize that from the circle to the plate is 43 feet in high school and college, and the bases are 60, and so third baseman and pitcher, they're essentially at times pitcher of course is only 40 feet, probably even 30 something when she delivers it, and so these bats are just pop off as Calvary draws a walk right there, and so third baseman same thing. They're in very close and girls turn on the ball, and so I think it's just the comfort mentality of knowing, hey, if something does happen, I don't get it. I got some protection there.
Walk to Sammy Wilson, and Morgan Elsie, the catcher, will stand in. Hits this pitch. Little bunt. Good job there. I'll move the runner up. Put a runner at second base with one out.
That's a good job by Morgan getting the bunt down. It's something that the team has struggled with a little bit at times in the last couple of games of getting runners over and manufacturing runs. And so big opportunity there. So
runner at second, one out, and here is the number 7 batter, the second baseman, Taylor Thomas. Another one of these seniors. A lot of seniors on this roster, Chad.
Yeah, 8 seniors today, and mix them of all started or played pretty consistently every single game this year, whether they start in the field or they're hitting for somebody. They've seen majority of action, and a lot of holes to fill for next year. We got 2 incoming seniors that came in from South, and Hannah and Sammy, and they have 2 younger sisters that are both 9th graders as well. And so you really got to see a different dynamic as a team was going into the offseason in August. We'll basically, start in June to what happened to the team we picked up in July.
2-1 the count to Taylor Thomas. Runner at second, Wilson about to get her lead after the pitch is delivered. There she goes. Hit hard to the third baseman. What a play. She was standing only about 35 feet away from home plate as that pitch was delivered. That was a sharp one hopper. She grabbed it on the one hop and threw on to first to retire Taylor Thomas. So 2 outs and now runner at third as Sammy Wilson is able to move up. And it's all up to the left fielder, Bailey Horton, if Calvary is to see a run cross the plate here. First pitch misses upstairs.
And got some speed at third, so maybe a pass ball, something we can get here. You've seen 1 or 2 of those so far by the Truetlen County pitcher.
There's a strike. 1-1 the count. Maggie Rogers waits to hit next. Explain a little bit about the flex player.
Well, the flex player is, in baseball, you can have someone, hit, correct?
Correct.
And so it's very similar in that nature, but the flex player can, the way Georgia High School has done it now, they can come in and out, a good bit. It's not that they're just there and they get burnt like they do in,
right,
the upper levels of baseball. They can be reinserted into play. And so, for instance, Maggie,
who pops this one up, shallow right. Number 12 makes the catch and retires the side.
And so, from that perspective, they can be inserted in and out. Like, for instance, a lot of times this year, Maggie Rogers is hit for somebody that's already in the field. So you might have someone better defensively you want out there, but that player will hit for them because they're better at the plate. So we've seen that a good bit. I'm going to hand the color over to Corey Martin here. I have to go pick up my youngins from the day school, but Corey's going to be taking over here as the man of all talents.
That's right.
And I'm sure you guys will discuss probably a little bit. But does Georgia have a football game this weekend?
Couple of weeks in a row, I think.
I'm sure there'll be some banner that you two guys can talk about the Bulldogs for a little bit.
So the side was retired after the pop-up by Horton. So we head to the the top half of the third inning, where the score is 0-0. To the top of the third we go. Treutlen has had one base runner. Calvary's had two, but we are scoreless as Jessica Hartzog winds and fires to the number 8 hitter, Keto Wicker, who is the first baseman for the Lady Vikings. As Chad Griffin mentioned a moment ago, Corey Martin, no stranger to the golden microphones of the Calvary Sports Network, here with us to provide biting commentary. This pitch right through there, 1-1 runs the count. Coach Martin, by the way, if you have not been keeping up with Calvary Sports here in the fall, is now your head coach for cross country. So we'll be able to find out what's heading our way with that team here. As this pitch misses just off the plate outside, 2-1 goes the count. Thank you for being with us, Coach.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's a great day out here at the ball field. Got a good little breeze blowing, good sunshine. It's a perfect fall day for some softball. Normally I'd throw baseball in there, but a good day for softball also.
Fouled back and out of play up on top of the apartments.
Terrible to say. It's my first trip out to the softball field, but I will say we got the field looking great out here.
Yes, it looks
really done a great job.
2-2, by the way, the count. As we await the pitch to Wicker here for Treutlen. Hartzog's pitch, just off the plate inside. Full count. So this game is important for Calvary here. This home game, a region contest. Calvary sporting a 6-2 region record. Trails both Johnson County and the Savannah Christian Lady Raiders, who have a perfect region record. They were victorious over Lady Cavs last week, 9-1. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Hartzog. That is her second of the game. One out, and here is the number 9 batter, Sedaria Harden. I think that's her, at least. Could be Hannah Lanford. We'll catch the number here in a second, as they have a flex player working in the lineup. The pitch. There's a strike.
Jessica really seems to be throwing the ball well today, really just setting them down in order, throwing a lot of strikes, just relying on her defense. Speaking of defense, great snag by the third baseman in Truetlen County last inning. Really hit well by Taylor, and she snatched it up quickly, got it over to first base, and probably saved a run.
You're no doubt correct, and there's the count. It's 1-1 on the batter. I thought for a second when you said nice defense, you were going to talk about the number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs vaunted defense.
Oh, gosh. Well, it'll be nice to get everybody back this week. Hopefully, of course, Coach Rick still mums the word on whether or not Rambo and Ogletree will be back, but it sure would be nice to get them back.
Nancy Brown deflects that one. And they retire the batter.
Wow. Great throw by Miranda at short, really from deep in the hole. Shows a great arm to get her out there.
That's only 2 outs. Everybody was running in. 2 down. That'll go as 5-6-3 in the book.
It's unfortunate to see that occur. We got 4 or 5 seniors out there who still trotted off the field with 2 outs.
Hey, sometimes you might get away with it, looking that confident riding off the field.
It certainly wouldn't be the first time that that's happened.
So 2 outs, and here is the number 10 batter, Hannah Lanford, playing left field. Actually, no, excuse me, we're back to the top of the order, and Tania Moy. Missed that pitch. Not sure what it was.
Had a ball there, a little high.
1-0 goes the count. The wind, the delivery from Hartzog. She showed bunt, missed outside. 2-0 the count on Moy, who grounded out back to the pitcher her first time. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the third. Calvary will have Maggie Rogers in the top of the order due up for the Lady Cavs in the third inning. Game moving right along. This pitch bunted. Ansley Brown, good job to come in, and a great job of Taylor Thomas coming over to cover the bag, and that will retire the side. 1-2-3 goes Treutlen in the third. We head to the bottom half of the third. No score between the Lady Vikings and the Lady Cavs. You're on the Calvary Sports Network.
Commercial.
We head to the third inning. Maggie Rogers in the top of the order due up for the Lady Cavs. Hannah Arrington and the Miranda Gammon. Facing the pitcher Bailey McDaniel. First pitch inside is going to hit Maggie, and she's going to reach base. So Calvary gets the base runner aboard with the hit by pitch.
And always a great thing to get the lead runner on in the top inning with no outs. So it should put us in a good position to either bunt her over or definitely put her in scoring position.
So here is Hannah Arrington. She will bat. She popped out to second base her first time. Brian Evans, Casey Nelson, Garrett Rogers, and Corey Martin with you from the Jenkins Boys Club and Cy right field. First pitch misses low and outside to Hannah Arrington, ball 1. Oh, excuse me, it was a strike. They called it on the inside corner, 0-1. First, this one hit out to short. This may be a tailor-made double play. Shortstop steps on the bag, throw over to first, and Hannah Arrington's able to beat it out.
Definitely was close. He just got to the bag before the ball did. I actually think the first baseman didn't hold on to it right there, so would have been safe either way, but it was a close play. It set it up well for just a double play for the shortstop just to keep it and throw it on over to first, but just weren't able to hold on to it at first base.
Yep, so Arrington will be 0 for 2 after reaching on the fielder's choice. So 1 out, runner at first. Here's Miranda Gammon. She shows bunt. She's inside, almost hit her. It's going to allow the runner to move up, though, to second base.
I think that actually might have gone behind her there.
Yeah, it sure did look like it. So that'll be a wild pitch. Will move the runner into scoring position here. And the count goes 1-0 on Gammon. And so the error, though, the not throwing out the runner at first base means that you've got the top of the order and speedy wheels on the base paths here for the Lady Cavs. Gammon bunts a good bunt back to the pitcher. Pitcher flips over to the first baseman. She will be retired, but the runner is now at third base. So that sacrifice will go 1-3. 2 down, runner at third. This is the second time in the game in as many innings Calvary's had a runner at third. Let's see if they can get the runner across. This is Hartzog stepping in now. She doubled to left her first time.
Big spot for the senior to come up here on senior night. Or
See, it rips this one hard, but foul down the third base side.
Senior afternoon, I guess I should say.
Count 0-1 after that pitch was ripped right behind Coach Sherry Griffin down at third base coaching box. Chad Carver coaching first base. Looking very dapper in the purple shirt, black short combo.
He's rocking it well, that's for sure.
The 0-1 pitch sails outside, 1-1. Glad to have you with us if you're joining us, either on demand or live. Seasonal afternoon, temperatures in the high 70s. This pitch is chopped up the middle, going to be a tough play. Second baseman turns, throws on to first, and she makes it. Good job there.
Great play to backhand that one up the middle, especially on that high chopper. Really took a good bounce to her coming, though, on that second bounce, and she picked it up smoothly, and great throw over to first base to get Hartzog. So.
Yeah, for the second straight inning, Calvary strands the go-ahead runner at third base. We head to the fourth. We're still scoreless here on the Calvary Sports Network. To the fourth inning we go. Calvary and Treutlen knotted in a scoreless tilt. Number 2 batter, Kaylee Morris, the third baseman, will stand in. She of the excellent one hopper back in the second inning takes the first pitch outside. 1-0 the count. We have Garrett Rogers running camera today. Casey Nelson, as always, directing and producing. Corey Martin is here providing color commentary, and Brian Evans here on the play-by-play. 2-0 the count. Alicia Evans as well is here today on sets.
Hannah Clements making a guest alumni appearance.
That's right. One hopper to the third baseman, Ansley Brown, on to first in time for out number 1. Defenses look stellar on both sides right now.
Completely agree. You really took the words out of my mouth. The defense has been incredible for both teams, just playing smooth and really making, what seemed to be somewhat routine plays, but also making some pretty good defensive plays as well.
First pitch runs outside to Madison Hutcherson, the Truetlen catcher. Treutlen's record was 11-11 coming in this game, 4-2 the region tilt. Calvary's record, as we said, is 5-2. This pitch bunted foul. 1-1 the count.
So big region contest here, both coming in with 2 losses in the region. But just a big game, like you said, with Savannah Christian already taking us out one time and being undefeated. it's a big win that we need to get here, especially on senior afternoon, as I've said.
That pitch is outside again. 2-1 the count. Hutcherson awaits the 1-1 pitch. Should be 2-1, and that one's. She dove out of the way like that was coming out her head.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't know that necessarily the theatrics were necessary on that one, but I guess it was a little bit more inside than we can tell from out here at the fence.
3-1 count. Here it is. Ball 4.
Nice job of Morgan to try and frame it there, but just couldn't get the call on the outside corner, and we're going to give up a walk.
Interestingly enough, that is only her 12th walk all season long.
Wow. That's
over 60-something innings. So runner at first and 1 out.
Pretty impressive to only give up 12 walks on the season, following up some pretty impressive pitching performances from Maggie last year, though.
Morgan Pager's in, and she fouls the first one out of play, 0-1.
I was talking to Coach Griffin earlier in the year, and she was talking about how well Maggie was as far as just her strikeouts to walk ratio and just really throwing a lot of strikes last year in her senior year and keeping people off the base pass, relying on her defense. And so it seems like Jessica's kind of following in her footsteps.
This pitch ripped to the left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Runners will be at first and second with only 1 out. Second hit of the afternoon for the Treutlen team. Both of them have been by Morgan Pager. So runners at first and second, and standing in will be the pitcher, Bailey McDaniel, has a chance to help herself out here in the top half of the 4th inning.
Big spot coming up here for Truetlen. Calvary had a chance, and now Treutlen's got the chance with runners in scoring position.
You're exactly right. This pitch hit hard. Third baseman makes the play, Brown, but she was out of play. Count to go 1-1. So how has what has been your thoughts on the cross-country season to this point?
It's been good. It's been good. It's been a interesting year, definitely being my first year, still trying to figure things out a little bit. But, you know, the kids are running hard and just pushing themselves each day, and we're getting a little bit better, and so that's really what you want. With cross-country, the interesting thing is none of your meets during the year really count for anything. You could run no meets and then go to sectionals, and if you come in the top 4, you still move on to state. So your goal really, from what I can tell, is just to continue, with any sports team, continue to get better throughout the year, but how you perform in those actual meets don't necessarily hurt your record as they do in some of the other sports. So you really want to focus on just improving, getting your technique better, bringing your times down, and really getting ready for sectionals. So
1-2 the count. Who's been impressing you as far as their work ethic this year?
I'll tell you what, we got some guys who've been out there and some girls who've been out there for a few years that have really stepped in.
Swung on a miss, strike 3, so big out there.
Huge.
Second out.
Huge strikeout.
2 down, and the runners will remain at their positions at second and at first for Haley Richardson.
Sets up for just an easy bag play if you get a force out anywhere in the infield, which really helps. And so hopefully Jessica can get herself out of a jam she kind of worked herself into with that walk and then to get a base hit. So maybe we can work out of this and keep it scoreless here after the top of the 4th.
Richardson stands in. She struck out her first time. The wind, the pitch, outside, ball 1.
Back to what you were saying earlier, though, just the guys and girls both have been working hard. Some names that really stick out to people who've been getting after it, Stephen Carroll, Austin Thomas, those guys are going to come and work hard every day. And Patricia Forrester just puts in a lot of work, and she's got so much going on with swimming and cross country going on at the same time. She's been out of town every weekend in September, actually, on recruiting trips. And, of course, one of the most important ones, she visited our alma mater of Georgia last weekend, and from what I hear, it's moving its way up into some of her top schools, so that's exciting to hear. But
she talked to old Jack Bowerly while she was there.
Yeah, that's right. So she's I'm certainly leaning towards that for her, but we'll see what's best for her and where she fits in well with the coaches. But she's got a lot of opportunities. Be visiting NC State this weekend, actually. And like I said, she's been out of town every weekend, has gone now to Tennessee, to Auburn, Georgia, and now NC State this weekend. So it's been a good month for her, and just able to kind of get away and see some schools and visit some coaches. So it's been nice.
2-1 the count to Richardson. Bunts this one, hits her in fair territory, and she is out. Great job there by the umpire to call that one.
Right on top of that one, and made the big call to punch her out right there.
That'll retire the side. That's a big out. Calvary is able to get
good.
out of the jam with 2 runners on and only 1 out. We head to the bottom of the 4th. We're still scoreless. Going to take a chance to look at our Calvary Sports Network sponsors as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Take it away, Casey. Bottom of the 4th. Due up for the Lady Cavs, Ansley Brown, Sammy Wilson, and Morgan Elsie in a scoreless ball game.
I will say this back on the cross-country note, though. Some people who have really impressed me this year, some underclassmen and one junior. Trevor Fiorenzo actually has been working hard this year at cross-country and has really impressed me, and as well as someone who I tell you 2 years from now could be extremely good and possibly looking at some offers is Ava Kanoki. She has really done well this year and really did well last year as a freshman in track as she went to state in the 2-mile. Right. I think one of our only females to make it to state, so she continues to impress as a sophomore.
1-1 the count to Ansley Brown, who grounded out her first time. Two and one runs the count as that pitch bounced up there. Sammy Wilson, who reached on a walk and was stranded at third back in the second inning, will bat second here in the bottom of the 4th. Getting a little bit late. Halfway through the game.
Yeah. Sun's still beating down pretty good here, though.
Not kidding. Swung on and missed. Evens out the count at 2-2.
This would be a big inning to put a run across the board right here. Just got be nice to get off the lead off on base right here, but this would be a big inning that could set us on our way to getting the victory.
She rips this ball hard but foul down the third base side.
Seeing a lot of off-speed pitches here from Treutlen, and it's being pretty tough for the Calvary batters to stay back and wait on it and drive it. When they're making contact, they're making great contact, just happen to be ahead of it. So we can wait, just a half a second longer. We could really punish some people here, I think.
Count remains 2-2.
Another one that was well struck right there down the line.
Talking to Ansley Brown, we got one of the highest batting averages on the team. This one's ripped to center. Good job, though, by the center fielder to come over and make the line drive catch for out number 1. Hard, but right at him.
That seems to be the story of the day. We've hit some really, really good balls that have just been ripped. One down the line, like we said, from Taylor earlier, and then that one there, but just dead at the defense. And so just haven't been able to put any out there where they weren't other than Jessica's earlier in the game.
Sammy Wilson stands in, walked her first time. First pitch will bounce behind her. 1-0 the count. aforementioned University of Georgia will be featured on CBS for the first time this year.
I know. I always am a little bit nervous before we play Tennessee, especially on years where we're having a good season and a big year. If you look kind of back across
Reminds me a
the
lot
history.
Of 2004.
Oh, man, I completely agree. 2004 and 2007, we're coming in undefeated, I believe, in 2004. Might have had one loss in 2007.
Yeah, had lost to South Carolina earlier in that year.
But we have just come in hot, playing well against Tennessee several times, and it has usually not boded well for us. But hopefully things will be different this year. Like I said, I think we'll have a little bit more energy as we get Ogletree and Rambo back, hopefully, from what we think. I think that'll bring some energy back to the defense. They played great against Vanderbilt, but at the same time, to hold them to 3 was nice. But there were some times where Vanderbilt probably could have put some points on the board where we got fortunate with the fumble into the end zone by Jordan Rogers. And actually one of the deep bombs that they had from Rogers where the guy looked to be inbounds on the replay, but they called him out and didn't review it, and so it went in our favor. But there were some times where Vanderbilt probably could have put some points on the board against us.
Another walk is coaxed by Sammy Wilson. So a one-out walk will put her at first base. Certainly this is not the Tennessee teams of 2004 or 2009. I don't think the talent level is quite the same. But I will say Tyler Bray is going to put points on the board. I don't think they can run the football, so Georgia's going to be able to kind of sit back, I think.
I completely agree. I think without them, without the ability to really run the ball well, I think that we'll be able to play coverage, with our, even if we have to go nickel a lot of times, but I think we'll be able to pin our ears back and really come after them. I don't think Neal's really shown the ability to run the ball well against SEC defenses. He had a good day against some other defenses like Akron and some smaller schools, but against an SEC defense, they certainly haven't seen one with the caliber of Georgia this year, other than
Florida, probably.
Maybe Florida, yeah, with the speed that they've got, but certainly not with the leadership and with the experience that Georgia has.
1-1 the count on Morgan Elsie. She sacrificed a runner to second her first time. We may see her do that again here, even though there is one out. The pitch is outside. Sammy Wilson coaxes a throw. Count 2-1 on the Calvary catcher. Done a great job behind the plate. She does not let many balls by her.
Sammy really working the Truetlen catcher, just really trying to get her, almost baiting her to throw that down to first base, hoping she's going to throw one out into the outfield and be able to take off for second.
Elsie waits the 2-1 pitch. That one is blocked up there. No, it actually bounced up
Took
and
that
hit.
One right off her calf.
Yep. So that's going to put a runner at scoring position as a second hit batter by the McDaniel, the pitcher, puts runners at first and second with one out. And Taylor Thomas, who ripped one down the third base line, but a great play by the third baseman last time. We're going to have a courtesy runner. I believe it's number 18 wearing the Lady Cavs jersey.
Kelsey Black.
Kelsey Black, only a freshman.
Got good speed, though, I think, for a freshman, so that could be nice to have her out there on the base pass. And good to get Morgan back in there. She's going to be coming out and catching, and after taking one to the calf, might be a good thing to get a few plays off here in the bottom half of the fourth.
So they've got you now cross-country head coach, assistant and JV coach for basketball, and middle school golf coach still.
Actually, I won't be doing middle school golf this year, so it's sad to take the spring off this year. So I actually won't be doing middle school golf. That was kind of one of the deals that we got with the high school cross-country coach is I'm going to be doing something in the fall and then have basketball. Really, basketball will start prior to being done with cross-country,
right.
So I'll go directly into basketball. And so actually we'll have the spring off this year is what it's looking like. It could change, but right now it's looking like I'm going to have the spring off, which I will probably be working with some of the basketball players. We're able to do 2-on-1s and things like that, so hopefully we'll be able to kind of get a little work in after the season, which is a little ahead of ourselves since we haven't gotten there yet. But, we got a lot of underclassmen on basketball, so it'll be good to kind of work with them. We're not graduating too many again, as last year we didn't graduate any, and so be able to get in some work after the season will be nice. I know Coach Shell will appreciate that as he's got a lot more duties this year as he moves into the administrative level.
2-1 the count on Taylor Thomas. Runners at first and second. Sammy Wilson at second. Kelsey Black at first. And now another bouncer up there, and that's going to hit Taylor Thomas. It's going to load the bases.
Another big spot for a senior. You got Bailey Horton stepping in with the bases loaded and 1 out. Especially with the way the pitcher's been, looks like they're going to make a change, actually, or at least going to come visit the mound. At this point, I'd be making her throw strikes. So you got to make sure that she can throw strikes. Otherwise, I'd sit there until she does. Especially since a walk's going to lead to a run immediately here. So, heading back to the old Georgia-Tennessee topic, I think we'll kind of head back that way a lot of times. Anytime we've got some dead space.
That's right, some dead air. It actually looks like they're switching pitchers. Number 7 is coming in for them.
I think that's been your person who's been good at the plate today.
Yeah, that's Madison Pager. She's going to move to the pitching position, so we'll have the pitching change. So we can certainly talk about Georgia here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Like I said, I always get nervous when Georgia's heading into Tennessee, having a good year. Really nervous every week when you're having a good year. You know, right. You want to keep winning in the SEC, and we kind of got what would, even on a weak season, be kind of considered the gauntlet of our season as we go Vanderbilt, Tennessee, South Carolina, back-to-back weeks. And so tough stretch for us, you know, before we kind of get one, I guess, if you could call an easy one for us. But it'll definitely be a tough few weeks for us. Big win against Vanderbilt, but certainly can't come in, you know, unfocused for Tennessee because it'll be a trap game before we get to South Carolina. Right. So, and then we get to the open date on the 13th, which will be nice just to kind of maybe get the guys that are hurting a little bit, you know, as Jarvis has kind of had a little pulled hamstring. Certainly wouldn't know it from the way he's playing on the field, but, you know, guys that are banged up and beat up might get a week off. But if we can get through these next 2 weeks, it sets up well for us heading into October and the matchup with Florida.
Georgia's, lost 3 in a row against South Carolina?
Yes, it's actually the last 2, but 3 of the last 5. So We've lost 2 in a row, but 3 of the last 5, and they'll be tough again this year. You know, lost Melvin Ingram and some other guys from that secondary, and their middle linebacker gone as well, but they'll still continue to be a great defense. And I tell you what, Marcus Lattimore has looked great after coming back from that ACL tear.
He sure has. 0-1 the count to Horton. The 0-1 pitch sails outside. 1-1 the count to Bailey Horton. Bats with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Calvary has the chance to draw first blood. She pops this one up, though. That's going to fall over the head of the second baseman. Everybody's going to be safe. And the first run will score. That's just a little
fortunate blooper there.
Seeing eye blooper. Will drive home the first run of the game, and it's 1-0 Calvary.
But, I mean, even when the game's not scoreless, but if a game's scoreless, you'll take it any way you can get it at that point.
Yep.
So, big hit right there. May fall in as an error, but big hit right there for Bailey Horton to come in and, you know, placed it well. We'll give it to her. On senior recognition afternoon, you got to give it to her.
That's right. First pitch upstairs to Maggie Rogers. She was hit by a pitch her first time. So 1-0 Lady Cavs.
Another big spot for a senior here. I tell you what, man, as I look across this roster, we've got a lot of seniors will be leaving us this year, and I know Coach Griffin will be missing them.
2-0 the count.
Seems like some seniors, you know, that have been in the mix for a while now. You know, people like Morgan Elsie and Bailey and,
yes,
you know, Taylor Thomas, some people who have been in that roster for a long time. I may have missed a few there.
A lot of games started.
Yes, very much so.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Just off the plate outside, so the count goes 3-0 on Maggie Rogers. A walk means another run for Calvary.
Speaking of, you know, a couple weeks from now, Georgia gets the off week. The Cavs football team gets the off week this week.
Yep.
I know that it'd be good for them, you know, just to, you know, heal up and get ready for a tough stretch for them over the next couple weeks with Country Day, and then eventually we get Christian a few weeks after that. So I know it'll be a gauntlet for them coming up next few weeks.
Here's the 3-1. All 4 inside. There's another run.
2 big games this week. Well, I guess back-to-back weeks against Treutlen, as football team played Treutlen Friday night. Now the softball team's got them here on Tuesday. So it's a couple big important games against Truetlen County for these teams.
Yep. Morgan Elsie's position, which was Kelsey Black, she scores. Sammy Wilson and Black are scored. Taylor Thomas is at third. Bailey Horton at second. And now Maggie Rogers at first. We go back to the top of the order, and Hannah Arrington. She takes the first pitch well outside. 1-0 the count. 2 runs in. Calvary up 2-0.
This has the feeling of an inning that could blow it wide open right here as we sit back and had a few walks this inning and looking like it could be a big inning for the Cavs.
1-1.
Hope
this
that's
one's
not
hit hard.
the,
Good play by the shortstop. She goes the short way on the first. Throw back across the diamond, not in time. Another run will score.
It's RBI.
Yep. RBI and a fielder's choice makes it 3-0. Runners will be at first and second still. And Miranda Gammon will step in. So Horton is retired. 6-5 for out number 2. Arrington reaches on the fielder's choice. First pitch swung on a miss for a strike, going 1.
Should be 3-0 now, is it not? Score there is what I'm referring to.
Yes, 3-0 is the score.
They've changed it on the scoreboard. That's something us basketball coaches are always looking at.
1-1 the count to Miranda Gammon.
Oh, fisted one off. Might work out well for her.
Goes on to first.
She's able to get there.
Yep.
Great hustle from the senior.
Another infield hit for Calvary.
She fought that one off. Fisted it off up the middle and able to beat out the throw from the shortstop.
Yep. Well, the bases remain loaded, and here's Jessica Hartzog. Calvary's batted around here in the 4th.
She came up in a big spot, a couple innings ago, and this is another big spot for her if she could really get a hold of one. Could look up. There it is. That could be out of here.
That one's way back and
that's
gone.
A grand slam.
Grand slam for Jessica Hartzog.
It's a good way to have a senior afternoon right there.
It's 7-0 Calvary. Coach Griffin's going after that baseball or that softball.
Might want to keep that one in the trophy case at home on senior night. So 7-0, I told you, this inning had the feeling of something that could really blow the game wide open, and there it is.
Wide open.
I don't know why, but I had a feeling that she was going to take one out there.
She certainly did. That ball was a no-doubter.
As soon as it left the bat, I had a feeling that one was gone.
We have to get on our cameraman, Garrett Rogers. He did not follow the softball traveling out of the ballpark.
It's okay. He's had a long day out here in the sun. I think he passed out for a little bit, but that's all right.
We'll make him run laps after some suicides
with the camera. We got cross-country practice in the morning. If you want to bring the camera, you can have a few laps with the cross-country team.
So Ansley Brown, who lined out to center to start the inning.
If he does run with the camera, you might not want to view that. Could lead to some motion sickness.
We'll put that warning label up. 2-0 the count.
Make students that don't behave in class have to watch that video.
Ripped up the middle. Base hit. Oh, it's going to go under the glove of the center fielder, and she just kind of nonchalantly goes back.
Great shot from Ansley Brown there up the middle.
And she's going to send up at third base. That'll be a single and a 2-base error.
That was really hit well up the center. That thing shot back through quickly up the center.
So runner at third, and here's Sammy Wilson. She walked and scored the first run of the game, what seems like ages ago, but it was still this inning.
Up through the circle, that is, of course, apparently is what they call it.
That's right,
here
not the
at
mound.
Softball. But ripped right back through the circle and could keep this inning going right here.
First pitch called strike, 0-1. Sammy Wilson hits this one up the middle.
Could be trouble.
Shortstop, though, makes the play on a
great
first.
Play.
And retires aside. But Calvary scores 7 runs. They do so on 3 hits, and they strand a runner. We head to the 5th inning. Your score, Calvary 7 and Treutlen nothing. Thank you for being with us on the Calvary Sports Network.
back of my legs are going to be roasted.
We head to the 5th. 7-0 Lady Cavs. After the grand slam by Jessica Hartzog, she's still hurling away out there. First pitch strike to Becca Goodwin.
It's a big spot for the senior, and she stepped up and ripped one right over the fence. It's got to feel good on senior.
First home run of the year for the Lady Cavs.
Wow. So she might have been the last one to hit the last one last season and the first one to hit one of this season. I think she hit one in the playoffs last season, a big home run to move them along.
0-2 the count to Goodwin. She struck out her first time.
This could be a big inning right here if you can get.
Just want to get them out 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, if you can get them out 1, 2, 3, keep that momentum going. It's always nice, if you come out and score a few runs, if you can hold them, you really, keep that wave from going on.
1-2 the count.
In the baseball, softball mode, thinking about the old Bravos,
right?
But holding it together a little bit. I might have to knock on wood after that comment, but
there's out number 1.
Had a couple key victories, against the Phillies in these last few games.
Out number 1, a looping liner caught by Taylor Thomas.
Making a great play at second. The Nationals just keep winning, though, so.
Yep.
I think they won 12-2 the other day against the Brewers.
Yeah, last night.
So that split the series for them and was really pulling for Milwaukee there. If we can keep winning, we had a chance to get back in the division possibly.
Ansley Brown can't make that play. It's going to be a single for Keita Wicker. Runner at first with 1 out. And Sedaria Harden will step in. Here in the 5th. They have it 6 on the scoreboard, but it's still a 5th.
Trying to get this one over early.
This one's popped up on the infield. Hartzog is called off. Great job by Morgan Elsie to call her off and make the catch for out number 2.
That was impressive. She got out of there quick. Got the mask off and got out there onto the field. Cat-like reflexes behind the plate.
Two outs. Nobody or one person on. Hannah Lanford will stand in. Braves just have to be able to hit in the playoffs.
Oh, gosh. If we can just get there, I'll be happy with that. I think our magic number was 2 or 3 the other night,
2, I think, is what it is right now.
If we can get there, of course I won't be satisfied with that, but I'll be happy after
at least
the debacle of last year.
2-0 the count.
We've certainly closed the year a lot better than we did last year, which is good to see. And
feel like 90 wins are easily attainable, maybe 93, 94.
Definitely. I tell you what, man, I have been, I guess I shouldn't be, but I have been impressed with the way Medlin has thrown the ball of late. It's been great to watch him move into that starting role and really pitch the ball well.
He was throwing very, very well before he got hurt.
That's right.
And hurt his his elbow ligament. So
right.
2-1 the count.
Ooh, that looked like a good pitch there. Thought that one caught a little piece of the inside corner, but
it'll run the count. 3 balls and a strike. Hartzog winds, fires. Strike called on the outside corner. Oh, strike 3, he says.
It's a great pitch.
I did not have that as 2 strikes, but I guess the umpire did.
I guess that's all that matters is what he's got, not what we've got, I guess. I was thinking the same thing. I thought that was going to put it at 3-2. I think they're making the argument for the same thing here.
I was about to say, that was only the second strike is what I had. And, yeah, that is correct. The umpire got a little bit carried away.
A little ahead of himself.
He rang her up, but As it is, the count just goes full 3-2.
Well, it does seem to be something he enjoys. He gave the
he did that a
pretty physical punch out earlier in the game, so that's something that he's looking forward to. He may be practicing that at home in front of the mirror even.
Oh, goodness. I thought my score was right. I was like, I don't think that was strike 3, and it certainly was not. So the count is full.
When it comes to the Calvary Sports Network and stats, you certainly don't make many errors, so I think he had that one wrong.
Here's the wind and the pitch. Oh, he lost her. Or she lost her, rather. So that'll put runners at first and second with 2 outs, and we go back to the top of the order and Tania Moy. So Jessica thought she was out of it, but no, she's still got to toil away out there.
Definitely need to put this one away right here with 2 outs. We got to get out of this inning and keep what we got rolling, especially as we were hitting the ball a whole lot better that last inning. You know, we were fortunate to get some of the walks, but we did have a couple of times where we hit the ball really well, so need to get back into that batter's box.
Yep, force the pitching change. This one's hit up the middle. Good play by Miranda Gammon. That dropped by Sammy Wilson at third, or first, rather.
Oh, gosh,
Calvary's throwing it away, and a run's going to score. Couple of errors there. That's going to be an error.
We got her in a pickle here.
And tagged her out.
Nice. Great recovery from Morgan Elsie there to get the out and get us out of that inning. Certainly didn't want to have to face another batter there.
That'll be an unearned run, as it was an E6 that got the runner on. And then we had an error against the pitcher, or against the first baseman to score the runner. And then the runner at second base was thrown out 2-6, or 2-4 rather, to retire at the side. So 1 run does score, it's unearned, and 2 ladies were left. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's now Calvary 7 and Treutlen 1. This is the Calvary Sports Network. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Morgan Elsie, Taylor Thomas, and Bailey Horton due up for Calvary as they lead it by 6, 7-1. First pitch misses outside. Morgan walked in her position, scored back in the 4th inning when Calvary put a 7 spot up there. Have another good inning, we can maybe end it here. 2-0 the count.
It'd be nice if we can drop 4 runs in here and call it a day.
7-1 your score, and not sure what's going on out there. I don't think the umpire realized what inning it was. He asked her why the inning, or was asking Coach Griffin why the inning had gone back to 5.
He's had a rough day.
He's looked good doing it, though.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's really all that matters.
2-1 the count. That pitch is right through there for a strike. Morgan is sacrificed, and as we said, was hit by a pitch.
Yeah, took one off the calf last inning in that marathon of an inning we had.
She rips this one right back to the pitcher.
Barely moved her glove there.
There's out number 1. Here's Taylor Thomas, 0 for 1. She's grounded to third and been hit by a pitch. She scored run number 3. Two Calvary football players acting a fool here next to us.
Well, let's just hope they don't get hurt.
First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Calvary's only has to record 6 more outs on defense to notch win number 14 on the year. Oh.
Twice the third baseman has put her away on great plays after hitting the ball well.
Lined out right to the third baseman for out number 2. So 2 line outs in the inning. Nobody aboard, and here's Bailey Horton. She singled her last time, 1 out of 2. First pitch outside, ball 1. Wind the pitch. Oof. Swung and a missed.
Treutlen, they both have thrown really good changeups. I don't know if you, the softball term there is changeup, but they have definitely thrown great off-speed pitches.
2-1.
A little bit low there.
Calvary's still got a couple more road trips they think they have to make before the regular season comes to a close. I think Calvary's got to pick up the pace a little bit if they want to qualify for the state playoffs. Softball is one of the sports using the power rankings.
I'll tell you what, that really has thrown a kink in things and really changed the way that I think it's definitely over the next year or so going to change the way people schedule, especially the football.
You're almost helped out by losing a game to an upper classification team than you are beating a lower classification
Without a
team.
doubt. I was talking to Coach Carswell, and you know he's always going to run the numbers and see what's going to work best. And I think he was informing me the other day with the way the football system works that it was almost if you played a 6A school now that they've moved to 6A in Georgia, if you play a 6A school and take a loss, you can earn 12 points in the system. And if you play a single A school and win, you only earn 10.
Right.
So that is could definitely change the way some people schedule games. You could go, 0-10 or so and somehow qualify for state.
That's right.
We saw that earlier in the rankings. It was still early on, but we were 2-0, and Darlington was 0-2, but was a 1 spot ahead of us in the rankings.
Maggie Rogers stands in after Bailey Horton walked. 2-0, the count to Rogers. In the bottom of the 5th, Calvary leads at 7-1. 3-0 the count.
Same issue here. I would still be trying to make her throw strikes. We haven't really seen that they can throw strikes consistently.
Or maybe 2 outs, but score 4 more runs here in the game if they want. Here's a strike. Nope, excuse me, just missed
Must
inside.
be inside, yeah.
So that'll put runners at first and second with 2 outs. And we go back to the top of the order, and Hannah Arrington. Little pitcher, little coffee clash going on behind the mound between the infield of Treutlen.
There's a serious handshake there between the second baseman and shortstop. Must be working on that for a while.
Yeah, that takes a lot of practice right there.
5 or 6 steps. That could be tough.
That was not just made up this morning on the bus ride here.
They did not make that one up on the way here, that's for sure. They've been doing that one all season, and maybe for a few.
Arrington, first pitch to her, missed. 1-0 the count.
Definitely still need to make them throw strikes here, that's for sure.
2-0. That pitch sails inside. Part of the order you want to see do some damage if you're Lady Cavs.
Definitely.
Try to add to that run total. Arrington hits that one hard. That's going to be a base hit. They're going to stop the runners. Oh, no, they've got...
Oh, no, she's caught.
Bailey Horton ran too far around third, and they're going to throw her out. So the single will end the inning as she is thrown out 7-5-2.
Oh, they're saying that we've only got 2 outs.
That's not correct. That was 3, and they finally
still
did get
finishing
it.
the inning here. This is like 2 or 3 times where we can't figure things out.
So the single will go for naught. We head to the 6th. 7-1 Calvary. To the 6th we go. Kaylee Morris, Madison Hutchinson, and Morgan Pager due up for Treutlen. They trail the Lady Cavs 7-1. Shadows growing long here at Cy Right Field, edge of the Jenkins Boys Club.
That's exactly right.
First pitch bunted foul. Count goes 0-1.
Man, I still can't get over the job they've done with this field. It looks great. Got the signs up, the C's in the middle of the center field.
I know, I like it.
Great scoreboard.
That ball's ripped. Great backhanded play by Miranda Gammon. Can she
Wow,
throw her out? Yeah.
That was beautiful from deep in the hole.
Umpire, I think, gave her the benefit of the doubt there because that was such a good play.
Heck of a pick there at first base, too.
Yeah, Sammy Wilson dropped one earlier, let the run score, but there she made a great dig out of the dirt. So 1 out. And here's Madison Hutcherson.
Hearing a little chatter out of the coming from the Lady Cavs over there from the dugout. Ooh.
Pitch missed upstairs for ball 1.
Looked like she wanted it, though. She about went for it.
Temperature cooling off considerably now that we are in the shade.
Feels great out here, actually. Good night. About took somebody out in the dugout there.
1-1 the count.
And that is why it is always good to be ever present in the game,
That's
even
right.
in the dugout.
I must tell you, Corey, this is the first game I've ever done leaning against a truck bed. Ansley Brown cannot hold on to that one. That will go as an error.
Certainly pretty decent setup out here, though.
Yeah.
But feels great now. Some good leg workout, though, that's for sure.
No sitting down on the job.
That's right, literally.
Runner at first after the error. 1 out, and here is Morgan Pager. Throw behind the runner at first. She's back after the called strike.
It was close, though. It was well thrown by Morgan right there at the bag.
Runner 1 out, runner at first after the timeout. 0-1 the count to Pager. Takes that pitch outside. 1-1. Here in the top half of the 6th inning, Calvary's got to get 4 more outs or score 4 runs in the top half or the bottom half of the 6th.
Double play right here would be nice.
It's foul down the first base line. 1-2. Pretty good crowd from the Calvary side today.
Definitely got some signs, posters up for senior recognition. It's good to see the students getting into it a little bit.
Hartzog winds the 1-2. 2-2 the count. Throw behind, back safely is the runner.
Not a lot of Truetlen fans making the trip for the softball game. Probably mostly parents over there.
Either that or they all came disguised as empty seats. This one's going to be hit.
Oh, that's trouble.
Yep, shallow left field, base hit.
That's no man's land right there.
Runners at first and second now, 1 out. And here's Bailey McDaniel, the second baseman. Remember, she started the game at pitcher. They pulled her before the salami by
That's right.
Jessica Hartzog.
Just in time for a grand slam.
And we're not talking about the one you can get at Denny's either.
That's exactly right. Although that would be nice. I'm not sure, though, if it would.
It's got to be pretty late in the evening if you're going to go.
I don't know if it would be a good choice, though.
0-1 the count as that one's bunted foul. I've got to figure out what I'm going to have for Spankies tonight for trivia. I'd normally go with the chicken fingers, but had chicken tenders for lunch, so
yeah,
have to go with the backup meal.
We all know those Calvary chicken tenders are
second to none.
World renowned. That's right. That's exactly right. I will say they are actually pretty good.
Oh, no doubt.
A little Spankies trivia tonight, eh?
Ripped down the third baseline. Ansley Brown steps on the bag.
Double play.
Throws on to first
Very
in
nice.
time. Double play, 5-3. It'll go, and that will retire the side. Excellent play there by Ansley Brown.
Yeah, it was nice. Strong arm.
Yes, we head to the bottom of the sixth. Calvary 7. Treutlen 1. This is the Calvary Sports Network. Bottom of the seventh. Lady Cavs will send up Miranda Gammon, Jessica Hartzig, and Ansley Brown. Miranda will stand in here. In the bottom half of the sixth inning, Calvary 7 runs in the fourth. That's all they've needed thus far as they lead at 7-1.
It's probably been one of the best weather days softball's had all year. I tell you what, at the beginning of the year we had so much rain. They were in the Chain Academy almost every day. Here's the pitch. Miranda might fall in. Oh, great play by the center fielder. Diving stop. Shows great athleticism there, especially for a girl.
Becca Goodwin in there at center field made a nice sliding catch.
It was definitely well played. She read it off the bat well, got a good beat on it. Made a great play.
That's right, even the old slide to bounce right back up.
That's right.
Hartzog looking for jack number 2. Fouls. This one foul.
She was looking for a little Sports Center top 10 there.
0-1 the count.
A web gem, if you will. I don't know that
Ansley Brown, I think, would have qualified.
That's right, I agree. Carl Ravitch might have gave it to her, a web gem. Him and old John Kruk. It's back in my day of growing up for baseball. Him and Lenny Dykstra playing for the Phillies.
Reminds me of being a kid.
That's right.
Living in right outside of Philadelphia, my friend's favorite player was Lenny Dykstra.
Nice. I was a Dale Murphy fan. That was my favorite player growing up as I grew up here in Savannah and made my way to some Braves games.
Yep, Dale Murphy, and then when he moved on, Jeff Blauser.
Oh, nice. That's a great pickup. I used to be a Mark Lemke fan, actually, at second base. He was built a lot like Dan Ugla, actually. He was short but stout and pretty strong guy. But I actually went to a Phillies game when I was about 7 or 8 up in Philadelphia. That was my first time on an airplane, actually. Went up to a Phillies game and watched the Braves play the Phillies. It was a good trip. My first Philly cheesesteak experience, actually, there in Philadelphia.
Did you go to one of the 2 famous, Pat's or Geno's?
I did. I went to Geno's and, of course, had to go to the Rocky Stairs, went up the stairs. And it was a good trip. My mom took me when I was about 7 years old. It was my first time, like I said, flying. And it was a great trip, good experience. My mom, one of her best friends, lives up there in Philadelphia and had a son my age, and so went up there with her. It was a good time, actually.
Hartzog earns the walk, and we will have a courtesy runner wearing number 14 for the Lady Cavs.
Walk down memory lane right there.
Megan Rice getting the opportunity to run the base pass. Spent a lot of time at Veterans Stadium. It's a strike to Ansley Brown. Saw many a brave Philly game.
It's a great stadium to watch a game, actually.
Yes. I actually was at Game 6 of the 1993 NLCS when the Phillies beat Atlanta.
Wow, that's way back right there.
That game, of course, was most notable for me. Jeff Blauser hit a home run.
That's right. That's right.
1-1 the count to Ansley Brown.
Those were the good old days when the Braves were guaranteed to make the playoffs.
Well, it was interesting. Jeff Blauser being my favorite player, went to quite a few games where he hit home runs in Philadelphia. As a matter of fact, on my 16th birthday, he hit a grand slam, his first at bat, and a 3-run homer, his second.
Wow. It's a good day for a birthday right there.
And I met him about 7 years later when he was working for the Atlanta Braves as a minor league instructor, and I was announcing in the minors, and I asked him why he had such good luck hitting in Philadelphia. And he told me, as the count goes 3-2 to Ansley Brown, he told me that Darren Dalton, the catcher for the Phillies, used to give him the pitches.
Really?
He used to tell him what pitch was coming.
Wow. It's a bold strategy from Darren Dalton there. Didn't work out too well for him,
It
apparently.
did not. Ball 4 outside it goes. So 2 straight walks. And Megan Rice will be at second, and Ansley Brown is at first for Sammy Wilson. 0 for 1. She has walked twice and grounded to short.
Good friend of mine actually named their dog Blauser after Jeff Blauser growing up. So
this ball is ripped into center field for a base hit. That'll load the bases.
Ooh, that was close.
It was.
That was a rip, though, by Ansley.
So here's Morgan Elsey. She'll stand in.
Actually, I think that was Sammy.
Yeah,
Sammy Wilson with a rip there. Sorry about that. It's a big rip right there from the senior.
Good arm there from Becca Goodwin in center. She threw that one in hard.
She did. She threw that very. Almost got the force out at third.
First pitch upstairs to Morgan. Morgan could hit the second grand slam of the day here and end the game.
She could end it. A little walk-off. Could be a walk-off grand slam here. Could be a great end to senior night, that's for sure.
Strike 1-1.
Let's hear the famous "Welcome to Mo's" chant over there from the girls in the dugout. I think that's going for Morgan. Mo must be her nickname.
A little bit of a stretch, if you ask me, but
it is. I guess that's what they're going with, though.
It's chants like that, I think, that's why Jonathan Davis enjoys working so much with the softball.
Yes, I'm sure that is one of his favorites.
Swung on a miss. Good off-speed pitch there. Evens the count at 2-2.
Looked like she wanted that grand slam right there.
Coach Davis had his first experience on the Calvary Sports Network.
I heard that Friday night.
Providing color commentary.
I watched it from my hotel room in Macon, actually. They're on a cross-country trip, so it was good to hear his voice over there. Always a great thing to hear from him. Had a lot of knowledge, especially about the subject as he coached, for the Cavs last year, and so it was good to get to hear from him on what he knows. Looks ripped right down the line, but
it's foul. Umpire right on top of it.
He's going to call it foul. Yep. So he certainly lets everybody know what his call is. But, yep, listen to it from the hotel room out there in Macon, waiting for our cross-country meet on Saturday, actually. Cavs football team scared me a little bit, actually, on
that
Friday.
game was a little bit too close. And the
caught her leg right there, it looked like.
Bounced up there. Full count, 3-2.
Definitely want to see her throw it. Got to make her throw a strike right here.
Field just about totally immersed in shade now.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit too cool to jump in the Jenkins Boys Club pool behind us. Swung on a miss, strike 3.
About an hour and a half ago, though, might have thought twice about that one.
I would have liked to seen you jump over that barbed wire fence, though.
Oh, I could do it. I think I could do it. Maybe even just from a standing vertical leap, I'd think about it.
That's Boss Bailey territory right there for vertical leap.
Oh, man, that's a good time right there. Spent many a times in Athens watching him play. My dad took me up a couple of times, and I was actually there when we beat the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech, 51-3 or 51-7. 51-7. He had a blocked field goal in that game.
Yes,
actually.
He did. That was my senior year.
I was in the stadium that day.
I was sitting in the student section.
That was I believe that was either my junior or senior year of high school, actually.
1-1 the count to Taylor Thomas. 2-1 rather.
That was a great day in Sanford Stadium. Always nice to put a pounding on the Yellow Jackets.
2-1 to Taylor. Pops this one up. Shortstop there makes the catch, and that'll retire the side.
I'm sure Coach Tillman wouldn't think so, but
you might have actually been there.
That's very true.
We head to the bottom of the top of the 7th. Calvary just got to get 3 more outs, and they got the W. It's 7-1, Lady Cavs. Seven to 1. Calvary got to get 3 more outs here.
3 more, and we'll put them away here on senior night.
I believe it was 2002. I was thinking back to that season, and I believe Boss Bailey blocked a field goal against Tennessee in that.
He did, yep. It was 2002. It was fall of my senior year of high school, actually.
And that was fall of my senior year of college. Guess that makes us 4 years apart.
That's right. I suppose we've done our math correctly.
First pitch on the way to Haley Richardson, ball 1, by the way.
More successful than the umpires have been at their math today.
Very true.
They must not have had our Calvary math teachers.
Little swinging bunt. That's going to be a first runner on. Paisley Brown will not even make the throw.
Didn't really have a play on that one.
Maybe that'll start a rally for the Lady Vikings.
I'm hoping it leads to a double play.
Becca Goodwin will stand in. Actually, Becca Goodwin led off the inning with the this
one's
ripped
goodness.
to left.
Get
Bailey
there.
Horton has that one go off her
no.
glove. It's going to put runners at second and third. We'll call that a single and an error. So second and third with nobody out. So Becca Goodwin led off with the single, and then that was Keita Wicker that just ripped that ball to left. Second and third. And nobody
Definitely
out.
put us in a tough position here. I mean, those 2 runs don't hurt us, but
right. Just got to make the outs at first. Got 6 runs to play with.
certainly didn't want to see the inning start off that way.
Oh, and 1 the count goes to Sadara Harden.
You're really pronouncing those names well, at least according to us.
That's right. A lot of practice. Here's the 0-1. Popped up.
Might be able to. Out of play. Took out the non-existent Treutlen fans over there.
0-2 the count. Did not start out my first 2 years at Georgia were not great football years, but
molded into a few good ones, though.
SEC champions my senior year. Strike three, out number one, is recorded here in the 7th as Sadara goes down swinging. And here is Hannah Lanford.
I'd say it's better to have the SEC championship your senior year than your freshman. I guess it really doesn't matter, but it's always nice to go out with a championship. My wife's mom was actually a Bulldog in 1980 and 81 when Herschel Walker was there. Those were definitely the good old times.
Yes. Saw a lot of victories.
Yes, that is for sure. She was a fashion merchandising major back there at Georgia during those days, and now she is.
Caldwell Hall? Is that where they?
That's right. Now I don't know. I didn't make a lot of trips into the fashion merchandising classroom, but I actually didn't even know we had that at Georgia, to be honest with you. But she's now a kindergarten teacher.
Is that fashion design?
Yeah, not using
degree.
it necessarily. Went back and got another 4-year undergraduate degree and is a kindergarten teacher in Cobb County.
This one's tomahawked to right field. Maggie Davis has that one go off her glove. I think she lost it.
Lost it in the
against
sun.
Against the
shadows will mess with you out there, though. Because she still got a little bit of sun out there in right field, so it was definitely messing with her as she was coming in to play that ball.
Run does score. Makes it 7-2. There's runners now at first and third.
Still got the force out at second, only one out. Doesn't hurt you, 7-2. Still got plenty of time, No need to panic, that's for sure. Just make your routine plays and get out of this one.
A lot of screaming going on out there. Here's Kaylee Morris standing at the plate. Ripped. Shortstop makes the catch. Miranda might have
had her at first base.
But she made the out at second base for out number 2. So one more out's all we got to get. Runners remain at the corners with 2 outs. Five runs separate the teams. This one
could be it right here.
Ansley Brown into foul territory, makes the catch, and that'll be the victory for the Lady Cavs.
The umpires are glad to call it a day.
Yes. And we say congratulations to Jessica Hartzog on the grand slam and the complete game victory, giving up 2 unearned runs.
Put that game away. Could be a 3-2 score here if she doesn't pull that off with 2 outs.
So great job by the Lady Cavs tonight, coming away with the victory, scoring those 7 runs in the 4th inning. Final score again, 7-2. Calvary winning. Coach Corey Martin, we thank you so much for your abiding commentary. I'm glad to have you with us.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Always nice to see a little softball and talk a little Bulldog football,
That's right. Thank you very much, and we will get caught up with the Calvary cross-country team very soon.
That sounds great. Just head on out. We'll either be at Daffin or out at the track at Calvary.
Thank you, Corey. We thank you as well, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us here tonight. For our cameraman, Garrett Rogers, statistician, Alicia Evans, producer and director Casey Nelson, our color commentators Chad Griffin and Corey Martin. This has been Brian Evans from the Jenkins Boys Club, where Calvary is victorious, moving to 6-2 in the region schedule, 15-7 overall. Thank you so much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Calvary